Hello everyone, we are Group 11 and our product is the Aqua Guard. It is a retractable underground flood barrier that is designed for Thai homes. Before we get started, I just want you to think about one thing. If a flood hit your house tonight, what would you do? Most people in Bangkok, first response would be to stack sandbags outside of their house. But there is a problem with that, and that is what we're trying to fix. Because sandbags need time to prepare, as well as manpower, a lot of it. And when it comes suddenly and you're unprepared, say you're asleep or you're not home, you don't have manpower or the time. And that is what we're going to fix, delayed response.
The problem too is that not everyone can physically manage sandbags. Elderly people or anyone with mobility issues, the current solutions just don't work for them at all. Problem 3 is the damage itself. We are talking about flooding up to 1 meters. That is the level that destroys appliances, furniture, and sometimes the building structure. Families spend months dealing with the aftermath, and the financial hit can be devastating. And number 4, most permanent flood walls are eyesores. Nobody wants a concrete barrier blocking their view when there is no flood. They kill the look of the property and the value along with it.
So from those four problems, we figure out what people actually need from the flood protection product. First, fully automation. You shouldn't have to be home or awake or physically capable of doing anything. The system should detect water and deploy it on its own. Second, it needs to be geniusly reliable. Under pressure, hydraulic load from the matter of standing water is not light. The structure has to hold. Third, discrete design. When there is no flood, it should be invisible. Store underground, flush with the ground, no obstruction, nothing ugly sitting in front of your house. And fourth, durability is going to sit underground in damp conditions for potentially years at a time. Whatever material we use has to handle that without corroding or degrading.
The core idea behind AquaGuard came from a pretty simple thought. Sometimes you want a wall, and sometimes you really don't. The tension between protection and aesthetic is what drove the whole design direction. Early on, we looked at Z-walls, the one designed to repel wave overflow. We actually wanted to borrow from that concept, but it doesn't work with our retractable system. You can't have a wave deflecting geometry if the thing needs to be folded back into the ground. So we had to let that go. Same thing happened with some of the mechanical ideas for the pushing mechanism and the locking system. Some design were generally cool, but just too complex to be reliable in the real world. We keep asking ourselves, does this add real value or does it just add points of failure? Most of the time, the answer was to simplify.
Alright, so here's the actual product. The whole system lives underground when you don't need it. It's completely unnoticeable when you're walking or simply driving past the system, as it is stored in an underground compartment. When water is detected, the piston system pushes the panel upward, and once it's fully extended, it reaches 1 meter above the ground. The total panel length is 140 centimeters, or 1.4 meters, meaning that 40 centimeters is stored underground as an anchor point. The panel is also 60 centimeters wide, and it is able to be tiled so that it can surround your property properly. Once it's up, a spring-activated lock system will lock it in place, preventing the wall from falling back down, and it does not need electricity to stay locked. It only needs electricity to retract back down.
The extension works both ways, manual and automatic. If you're home, you can just grab the handle indent at the top and pull it up yourself. If you're not, the IoT sensor handle it. The sensor monitors water level 24/7 and sends an alert straight to your phone through the app before it even deploys, so you always know what's happening at your house, even when you're across the country. For properties where people want to keep the view, like Riverside Home, we also offer an optional laminated safety glass panel variant. You get full flood protection and you can still see through it. That's mainly aimed at the premium segment. And the whole thing works without power. If there are a blackout during the flood, which happens a lot in Thailand, the mechanical barrier still holds. The sensor has battery backup. The level lock pins are stainless steel 316 with spring steel, high shear strength, no power to hold precision.
There are 5 main components, 5 material choices, all with a specific reason. The barrier panel and guiding rail are aluminum 5052 H32 marine grade alloy. We picked this because it resists corrosion even in salt water and damp underground environments, and is light enough for the piston system to push it up fast. All main structural parts are the same material. The watertight seal are industrial EPDM rubbers, 3 meters of strip per panel, UV and weather resistant. These meet the FM2510 watertight standard, which is what you need for a proper flood seal. The IoT sensor housing is IP68 rated polycarbonate, fully waterproof and impact resistant. That's the same rating as a phone you can submerge. and all the fasteners are stainless steel 316L marine grade, anti-size, easy to undo for maintenance without the bolt being corroded, shut after 5 years underground. Projected service life over 20 years, and everything is 100% recyclable at the end of life.
Alright, let's talk about money. Our current cost per panel is 9,125 baht. 43% of that is from the material cost, the aluminium. And then just under 17% of that is the sales commission. And then around 13% of that is from the IoT sensors. These three things alone already cost around 3/4 of our entire cost per unit. Next up, we also changed one thing from an earlier model. Tooling and manufacturing costs and our advertising spendings are now classified as variable costs. The logic is as follows. The more we produce, the more tooling wear and customer acquisition costs we incur. So we split those across each unit at 240 baht and 108 baht per panel respectively. Fixed costs are costs that don't change, and we've come to around 778,000 baht per year. That's dominated by the staff, of course, one mechanical engineer and one production technician. Rent on the legal, insurance, and software makes up for the rest of that cost.
For the selling price, we use cost plus pricing at 40% gross margin target. We land at 15,253 before VAT, or 16,300 including the 7% Thai VAT. The contribution margin, how much each panel sale contribute to our covering fixed cost, is 6,128 per unit. So the break even, 778,000 in fixed cost divided by 6,128. Contribution margin give us 127 panel. At our target production rate of 500 units per year, that roughly 3 months in. The margin of safety at that volume is 24.6%, meaning we have to miss our sales target by nearly 3/4 before we start losing money. Revenue-wise, 3 streams. The main one is the panel plus sensor sale at 16,300 each. Installation at 2,500 per site. From year 2, maintenance contract at 900 per unit per year start building up as a recurring revenue. That's important. Every panel we install today is a future maintenance client. Projection, year 1 at 200 units. Total revenue 3.3 million. Year 3 at 1,200 units. 19.9 million. EBITDA margin of 40.7%.
Competitively, we are mainly going up against sandbag because that's geniusly what everyone uses. They are cheap, but they score 2 out of 10 on each of you and they are single use. People in our research especially said they were too heavy. That's what they told us. The closest structural alternative you can actually buy in Thailand is import aluminium slot barrier or Lazada, 15,000 to 60,000 per door unit. They block a single doorway. There is no IoT, no premier coverage, and no local support. No major Thai manufacturer make up system like ours, which is the market gap we are entering. The target customer, primarily homeowner in flood-risk zone, near river and low-lying area in Bangkok. Secondary is elderly and mobility limited residents who need to automation because they physically can't manage manual barrier. On the B2B side, we are looking at luxury property developers who could offer Aqua as built-in feature, and long-term insurance companies who might offer premier reductions to home with certified flood protection.
Sales channels 4. Phase over time. Months 0 to 9, direct to homeowner. Facebook flood community groups, Line OA, and 3 to 5 free pilot installations in exchange for real video proof. A video of this product holding back actual flood water is worth more than anything else we could put in a marketing deck. Month 6 onward, Home Pro. They sell flood products, they have store in our target district, and they have over 1.5 million Facebook followers. We start with an in-store demo kiosk in 2 or 3 branches. Prove the sell-through first before going for a full listing. They take 30 to 40% margin, so we'd already priced that in. From year 1 to 2, Muban juristic offices. One office manages 50 to 500 homes. One deal is a bulk order with a completely different unit economies than retail. We'd approach them through property management firm like CBRE or JLL who manage multiple communities. On legal compliance, TIS or TISI product certification and product liability insurance have to come before we approach any retail partner.
3 quick points on impact before we close. Environmentally, the aluminum and stainless steel components are 100% recyclable, so it is not a problem for landfill. Socially, the automation specifically exists for those who are incapable of lifting materials themselves, such as elderly couples living alone. Lastly, from a governmental angle, using marine-grade materials isn't just about durability, it's about ensuring people that these products are actually incredibly reliable and liable for something such as insurance.
To close, flooding is real, recurring problem for a lot of people in Thailand, and right now the only mainstream answer is sandbags that require effort, time, and a body that can lift them. Aqua Guard fixes our four problems we identified. It deploys without human effort, it works without electricity, it protects the full perimeter, and when there's no flood, you never know it's what's there. The economics are solid, break even at 147 units, roughly 4 months, our mid-volume target, with a 7.6 margin of safety. Year 3 projects to 18.3 million revenue. The immediate next stop for us is getting pilot installation done during the rainy season so we have real-world performance data. That's how we take this form of prototype to something people can actually trust. Thank you.